It was unbelievable.
Filming the pyrotechnics on the oil rig almost goes awry.
Guy had been a very famous assistant director, first assistant director, and had been for John Huston and other people. Guy decided to have one last dry run-through just to make sure everything was fine before we shot. And the assistant director misunderstood. And when Guy yelled action, for the run-through, explosions started happening all over the place. And thank God, a head helicopter pilot, a wonderful man named Jim Gavin, he went, holy Jesus, what's happening down there? And he started rolling the cameras. And a lot of the explosions from the air were off that take. And Guy stood on that oil rig, and he was apoplectic, but he was so calm, and that was Guy. I mean, Guy never raised his voice. And the assistant director said, I'm so sorry, Guy. And Guy said, I'll handle it. And he said, Guy, I'll get the people here. He said, I'll handle it. He said, Guy, I don't think you understand the pressure on the thing and so on of being an assistant director. He said, I was the assistant director on the African Queen. I was the assistant director on the whatever he started doing with. He said, and I'll handle it.
In June, the crew returns to Pinewood to film on Ken Adams' elegant sets. First up are scenes in Blofeld's penthouse.
I wanted to give the feeling of a penthouse belonging to one of the wealthiest men in the world, as well as a man who had been a brilliant designer and brilliant engineer.
The little sequence in the elevator, there were some German stainless steel tiles, which we'd seen the pattern of them. I remember that it was a big schlep trying to get them back into the country, but we did. And to me, that elevator would always live as one of the masterpieces of one of Ken's designs.
Another set makes an impression of a different sort on the crew.
Leslie Hillman had come up with the idea of using mashed potatoes in tons to create this mud. And what he didn't realize that after 24 hours, these mashed potatoes started smelling.
I can't tell you, there's this awful stink. Oh.
Get him out, and you go quick.
It was unbearable.
London-based American actor Shane Rimmer, a veteran of You Only Live Twice, reports for work at Pinewood on June the 30th.
It was kind of funny. I mean, it was Connery, and I'd never met him. I didn't realize quite how awesome the man is. My first look of him is coming rather briskly down this hallway, and I just went rigid. I mean, this phenomenon coming towards me, because he sends out an awful lot of voltage.
To get away from the grind of filming, Connery indulges his passion, golf.
Sean Connery gave me some instructions on how to play golf, and very good instructions, by the way.
Sean plays a lot more golf than James Bond does.
It was more or less in the contract that we could play golf once a week.
He did more for my golf game than any pro that I ever went to. When I finished doing Diamonds Are Forever, I was hitting my irons the best I had ever hit them.
At the end of July, a fight is filmed in an unusual location, an elevator.
We got to have a fight in a Bond movie. And basically, there's no more boring than a couple of blokes swinging at each other. And I began to think about having a fight in this elevator because it would be fun. They'd break the glass, so you could shatter the whole thing. And obviously, as it came up to the floor, your head would be chopped off. And put the two largest guys I can think of in a small elevator. And they would love to swing at each other, but every time they move back, oh, my elbow's gone through this. Bob Simmons, who was our stunt gaffer, he loved the idea.
Sean and me, we both worked the fight out ourselves, because some of Bob's ideas were good, but we thought we could improve on the ideas. And you approved of what we were doing, so that was the main thing. And I worked with Sean before. I taught Sean judo. To see this small lift with Sean both and I, 6'2" and 220 pounds, it was quite something. I thought that's a brilliant idea, you know. And I remember Sean saying, look, what are they going to do next? Have a fight in a telephone box?
And most stuntmen have a healthy respect for Sean because he believes, and this is what makes Sean a wonderful Bond, when he hits, he means it. he goes in there, and I'm going to hit
I remember it well.
But he's big because occasionally he gets one back because he forgot the routine because he never learnt it in the first place, and Sean gets thumped and he never complains.
In early August, the final fight is filmed not at sea, but on a stage at Pinewood Studios. Actors Bruce Glover and Putter Smith work closely with the stunt team led by Bob Simmons. Each move is choreographed so that the actors can do as much of the stunt work as possible. Putter Smith even has his hands lit on fire, but it is stuntman George Leach who goes up in flames. For the final flip, Connery is assisted by a mini trampoline to launch stuntman Jerry Crampton in the air. From uncertain beginnings and shaky starts, Diamonds Are Forever re-establishes 007 as the classic British secret agent. On Friday the 13th of August 1971, Sean Connery closes the lid on his career as the star of Eon Productions' James Bond series.
And we finished at 4 o'clock on the last day of his contract. You know, everybody was very happy.
I think everybody kind of knew that he wasn't coming back, that this was his swan song.
I came back for the one, that was the understanding.
He was adorable to me. It was a pleasure to kiss him. He's a fabulous person and a marvelous actor.
Handsome, kind, charming, with these big magnetic eyes that had a bit of irony to them.
The first and the best, I think. He's A, the sexiest thing on 2 legs. B, he looks terrific. C, he's got such a wicked twinkle. D, he's a very good actor. And he's very virile.
He was a gentleman. He was very rough, like a diamond, rough edges, but down to earth, very giving as an actor.
Mr. Osato believes in a healthy chest.
He was fantastic. And I must say he was a very, very good colleague. He was very, very friendly, very helpful.
He's a very good pal to have as your leading man, you know. To be his co-star is to feel almost protected, and Sean was just wonderful. He was James Bond to me.